And it was two things. It was Michael posted a picture of Lindsay's wedding dress in a bag, and he said, I guess I won't get to see this thing for the next 6 months. I'm not allowed to see it. And because it was still in the garment bag. That's it right there on the screen. So Lindsay brought this home about 2 weeks ago, only 6 more months until I get to see it. And then that night I was watching Ashley play this game Contrast. In the game Contrast, that was on the PS4, I think it's on the 360 as well, you play a person who lives in two worlds. They live in the real world and they can go into the shadow world. So you can make like shadows and then go into the shadow world and then jump up the shadows and access different parts of the map.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's a cool game with light and all that stuff. But you can't be seen by people when you're in the shadow world and vice versa. So I had the craziest dream where Lindsay was at a fitting for her wedding gown. And she's like in the 3 mirrors, and she's looking at herself and all this stuff. And Michael walks in while she's doing that. And she freaks out because it's not their wedding day. And he's seeing her in the wedding gown. But then she determines, like, she's trying to talk to him, and he can't hear her, and he can't see her. And she determines that because it's not their wedding day, he literally can't see her in her wedding dress. So she can't be seen. And then she figures out that no unmarried man can see her while she's wearing her wedding dress. So she's basically invisible to a big part of the population. So she's like she starts going to like gym locker rooms and like spying on dudes naked and stuff like that.
Nice.
But then at the same time, we're invaded. And you know how when you're having a dream, how your brain mixes stuff up back and forth, but it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
We were invaded by Poland at the time, but then it was also Russia. You know what I mean? So we're invaded by Poland/Russia, and the U.S. Government determines that most of the army is made of unmarried males, and so they're like, wow, now Lindsay is our best secret agent. And I don't know how she went from locker room perv to secret agent, but it was a really quick leap.
She somehow let the government know about all this.
Oh, somehow. So she's wearing her wedding dress, and she's like going through government training, like as like a ninja, and she's fighting the Polish army. Like she's out there in the battlefield, like karate chopping people in her wedding dress.
Judo chop.
But then the first thing she goes into, the first battle she goes into, the married soldiers see her, and they're like, and they start shooting at her, this chick in a wedding dress that's out here, and all the unmarried guys, the younger guys, are like, what's going on? They're getting karate chopped, and so she barely escapes, and Gus was a scientist in the government, and he's trying to determine a way to make her more powerful. Then he makes a machine, or he's trying to build a machine that will magnetically pull off all the married guys' wedding rings, and if that happens, then they won't be able to see Lindsay, and she'll be able to attack them as well. And you're working on this machine for a long time, and Gavin is like, nah, I got a better plan. And you have like a red beret, like you're like a SS guy, or SAS guy.
But I look damn good.
Yeah, and you're like, I got a better plan. And you start parachuting in strippers, and the strippers land in the battlefield, and the married guys, once the strippers start running around, they all start just pulling off their wedding rings and hiding them because they want to appear like they're single to the strippers. And then Lindsay comes in and is like, chop, 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 karate chopping people. And then she gets all the way through karate chopping everybody in the Polish army, gets all the way to the leader of the Polish army, and for whatever reason, he can see her, okay? And she's fighting him, he's beating the hell out of her, and she's like, why isn't this working? What's wrong? Then she finds out that he's secretly gay, and he doesn't like her wedding dress. Like, he's criticizing, like, too much taffeta or too much lace. And it's like, no, it's like kryptonite that she can't, because this guy's in America, and, God, it's so crazy. Because gay marriage isn't legal where they are, the rules don't apply to him, and he can see her in her wedding dress. And she's fighting him, and she's about to die because he's about to kill her, and he keeps, like, going, and she's crawling backwards, and then all of a sudden she disappears. And he's like, what happened? It's because she crossed the state line to where gay marriage was legal. So now we can't see her. And she karate chops him and wins the whole war for everybody. Then, this whole time, Michael has been upset that Lindsay just disappeared one day.
Been with the government this whole time.
And then the war started. And so he's like completely depressed. So he has decided to go through with the wedding anyway. So she's all torn up, and she's trying to make it to the church. Like, she's all banged up. She's got an eye patch at this point.
So all Michael's family's there, and he's getting married to no one.
To nobody, right.
Sad bastard.
And so and now Gus, for some reason, once again, whatever reason, is a scientist and a priest. And he's marrying them, or marrying Michael to nobody. And he goes through the vows with Michael.
But wouldn't I know? Anyway, go on.
It doesn't matter. No, the logic doesn't apply. And he's going through the vows with Michael, like, do you take this blank space to be your lawfully known wife? Michael goes, I do. And he's like, boo. Michael's all crying. And then he says the blank space, and do you take Michael to be your lawfully wedded husband? And you hear Lindsay's voice go, I do, out of nowhere. And then she appears because now they're married. And she appears, and that was the end of the dream. It was the craziest fucking dream I've ever had. No, I don't take anything like that.
That's
It's
totally
an amazing thing.
That's totally an alpha brain dream.
But like nobody wrote that. Your brain wrote that while you were asleep.
It was bored.